All right, so it's day 14, 13. I don't know. It's day 13, and I need to put up the polyiso board in between these beams right here. So this is the 1.5 inch, which is a little thicker than the green polyiso board that I put on the floor, on the subfloor. So this will go into the walls, and it's reflective on one side. Then I got some nicer finished and sanded 1/2 inch plywood for the walls. I only got a couple sheets right now, so I can put it up over here and work that out, and then I'll get a couple more sheets and put it on this side. So tonight I think I'm just going to cut the polyiso board, glue it to the walls, and then tomorrow I will continue taking down this this metal ceiling right here. I'm just gonna take all this down, and then I'll put my own insulation up and skylight and fan and run the wiring and all that. So that's what we're doing tonight. It looks late, but it's not. It's only about 6:30, 7. So I'm gonna get to work and stop in a few hours. get freezing temperatures tonight. So while the sun is up, I am trying to put in the insulation, but at the same time, I'm gonna try and put up the plywood. So basically, the plywood would hold on the insulation and make sure that it stays on glued, because there's really no need for me to try and mount it and then mount the plywood. I already know what I'm doing, so as far as like my plan. So yeah, let's get started. I got some of the insulation up. Put some great stuff in between the gaps. The insulation behind this board is actually cut to fit, so I didn't need to do that, but I think it's better if I have the gaps so it doesn't protrude out and push the wood out, because that's actually being pushed out a little bit. Anyway, I got some insulation up. I got two walls up. They both have insulation, and they are both screwed in to the beams. So what I want to do is kind of finish the insulation tomorrow. It's a little hard dealing with the weather here because it is getting colder, number one, and it gets darker faster. The sun starts to set around like 4:15, and then it sets around like 5:30. So I'm working against the clock here, and I also have to balance with working on client projects, right? If you followed me last year on findingonethejourney.com, you realize that I actually talk about balancing working on projects and traveling. and eating and sleeping, and so sometimes I had to stay in certain cities for longer because I needed to get work done. So with this, it's like a balance between working on client projects and working on the home. But obviously client projects take priority. So what I've been doing is I just get up early, I work on the truck, and then I go to town after like 3 or 4 hours and work on client projects and things like that. So it works because all my clients are on the West Coast. But yeah, I mean, it's all a balance. Life is a balance, right? But it's getting cold. I'm going inside, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I want to show you guys a little trick. So I cannot screw these plywood boards onto the beam right here because this one is actually, it comes out less, and so they put this this additional piece right here to make it flush, right? So now they're flush. However, I have a small space in which I can put the screw through. So what I'm going to do is drill a hole in every place that I want a screw, right? So this is a metal drill bit, metal drilling drill bit. I'm gonna do it every 2 because I feel that's sufficient. I'm going to place a screw in here, just like this, not this screw, but I'll place a screw in here, and then I'm gonna color the tip of it with a permanent marker. And now you have a small window once you do this, but once you color the tip of all the screws, I'm going to place the board on here, press it down, and what will happen is the permanent marker will mark on the board exactly where I need to screw. Once I do that, I can drill the holes in the wood, put the screws in, and they should line up properly. So let's see if it works.
I'm making moves but ain't moved a muscle. If I was a judge, I still wouldn't judge you. Know what it's like to be in the struggle. I gotta be who these kids look up to. Got insecurities too, but the bezel on wrist, I forget what I'm going through. They quick to say what I oughta do. I do the opposite, they confuse. Success what you make it, to each its own. Grew up in various foster homes. Was moving from city to city in hopes to get stable, but hope that bitch led me on. I got a story to tell. I rap, I sing, whatever's gon' pop it off. Champagne for the nights I didn't sleep. Caviar for the Adderall. I'm a walking documentary. Money and family don't mix to me. Crazy how love and hate got this weird chemistry, but in the end it play out how it supposed to be. I know the dream and the hustle so separately. I pray whatever is meant for me, kept for me. Don't need no sympathy. I know the man gon' keep blessing me. I'm making moves but ain't move the muscle. 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 Both eyes open, both. I know my purpose, I know my purpose. Ain't worried about nothing, ain't worried about nothing. I see dumb lurking, I see dumb lurking.
Okay, so looked like it worked, and we have both these panels installed now. And you notice that I put a screw behind here, just inside the metal beam, and I made it flush with the additional portion that's behind here that we made those marks in. And I wanted to do that because I didn't want the board to be able to push backwards. So that screw behind here is just acting as a support to make sure the board stays flush with the rest of the wall. That's the only reason I did that, if you guys were wondering. Yeah, this will probably be more secure a little later when I put the ceiling up, but for now, it's good, guys.
And I had to create a little notch under here. This board is going down more than this one, and I believe it's because there are brackets underneath this board. Anyway, I wasn't too worried about it because this is where the closet will be, and I don't really need to. I don't care about the floor being flat, so I had to cut a little notch right here. But other than that, fits.
I'm making moves but ain't moving muscle.